T20 test on one day. India, England, Australia. The four-up lucky big three-side slayer. What a player! What a player! What a player! Discussing zinger bells and white balls to hells. Baggy greens for long from New South Wales. Is the IPL heaven or hell? Will the 100 fail or do quite well? What a player! What a player! What a player!
Hello and welcome back to Waadaplaya, this Talak of Kiska series, where we'll be reviewing match number 33 of the second segment of IPL 2021 between SRH and Delhi Capitals. Delhi Capitals played like a team which belongs to the top of the table, and SRH did the same. They played like a team which belongs, at least for this season, at the bottom of the table. It was a pretty much one-sided affair, and there was no surprises like we had Punjab Kings choking yesterday. And to discuss everything about that game, I have Shivam Gupta, who's returning back. He's the Delhi Capitals resident fan. Hi, Shivam.
Hi, Sanjay. Hi, everybody else.
And I have Vishak, the RCB fan, and Ravi, the CSK fan. Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
All good, all good.
Great, Sanjay. It was a boring game, I thought, but Shivam, your thoughts? Delhi Capitals looks like they will go all the way this season, at least to the finals. But it was a one-sided game.
Absolutely. I mean, after this game, I'll be really disappointed if they don't finish in at least the top two. And they played like a true professional team. Like how we used to relate to Chennai in the initial years of IPL. Professional team. Finishing off games. So that's how they played. Same pattern. Your Rabada Nokia going all guns blazing initially. Akshar putting the chokes in between, and Dhawan and Shaw giving a good start. Iyer playing that sheet anchor role. So yeah, absolutely professional performance, and clearly shows the difference between a team low on confidence like Punjab Kings, where I mean couldn't even score 10 runs from last 15, and a team like Delhi.
Vishak, SRH batting first got 139, which I thought they were lucky in the end. Few good hits from Samad and Rashid Khan got them. And I thought that if this was SRH maybe 5 years behind, they used to defend these scores in Hyderabad for fun. But on these pitches and considering the form they are in, it was never going to be enough.
The pitch conditions do matter. Like they depend on the slower bowlers, and they need those conditions where the ball grips, and that is what they get in Hyderabad. The pitch is little slower, and it has suited this. And the bowlers also were in peak form at that time, and they were all performing. Now the bowlers are not in that kind of form, except Rashid. I think even Rashid went for a few runs today. But other than that, if you see the other bowlers, they are not the same as how they were. So I think the team is collectively, if you're failing, right, you fail collectively. That's what is happening with SRH. And I think the way, if you see, nothing went their way. Warner trying to flick one to the leg side and spooning a catch to point. Right from that point, you know that nothing is going their way. So
yeah,
that's hard. Like when you're losing, you lose badly. That's what is happening with them.
Yeah, so they got back Warner, Williamson the captain, no space for Jason Roy. Ravi, in hindsight, team combination not helping them or just bad form. They want to get rid of this season as soon as possible and look forward to the big auction, I think.
I think form is not a question, because if this was a continuous IPL, I think form could have made a difference. I mean, it's like starting a new season only, right? I mean, they know their problems. I don't know why they can't correct their problems still, because it looks like carbon copy of what they did in the first part of the IPL. And Vishak was saying that slow pitches will help them, even though they played some four matches in Chennai. There also they struggled. I think the team combination where they left out Williamson for the first initial matches, I think that is hurting them badly. And Delhi is a very, it's like a complete oiled team. They know what to do. Everybody know their role. Everybody knows. Even though I don't like Delhi as a team, because I feel it's a dirty team. So, but still they are very well oiled mission, and they know what their role is. It's as Shivam said, it's like the CSK and Mumbai. They are coming into that kind of level. It'll be interesting to see how Delhi progress next year. I think this year they are looking. I'm not saying title favorites, at least for playoffs favorites as of now.
हाँ शिवम, रवि टाइटल फेवरेट्स इसलिए नहीं कह रहे हैं क्योंकि वो सीएसके के डाई हार्ड सपोर्टर हैं. तो हाउ कैन माही's potential last season he not be the title favorite? शिवम, जहां बाकी टीमों का लग रहा है जैसे पंजाब हो, इवन फॉर दैट मैटर सीएसके आरसीबी किसको रिटेन करेंगे, दिल्ली के पास काफी ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है किसको रिटेन करेंगे, क्या करेंगे. ये तो सीजन एकदम ऑन ट्रैक है. एज यू मेंशन, टॉप टू फिनिश लुक्स वेरी लाइकली. Iyer coming back and straight away, getting a not out and finishing off the game. That's great signs for them. Lots of positives.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one important point here is, see, if you see the first half of IPL where they were missing Iyer, so you can say they were kind of forced to play Steve Smith, because with Iyer not there, they needed someone to give that calming influence in the middle, play that backbone for the batting innings. But and because they were playing Steve Smith, they were not able to play Nokia. So then, so they sort of lacked that firepower. Although Rabada was there, Avesh, maturing as a fast bowler, but with Iyer back, they can play Nokia and those two out and out fast bowler. And see, when somebody bowls 150 kilometers per hour, right? Irrespective of whether you are a Warner or any rookie batsman, it's tough. It's absolutely tough. So when Nokia runs in and bowls, if you remember, I think it was last year in Dubai only, that duel between Nokia and Butler. Butler was playing those ram shots, but Nokia still going hard at 150. No fancy knuckle balls, slower balls, just hardcore fast bowling. So it's tough, even for a player of Warner's caliber. And I think from a Delhi, if you see, since Ponting has come in, there is clarity of thought. They had Gambhir first. Gambhir, giving up the captaincy mid-season, then trusting and backing Iyer. Even their options, if you see, clear mindset, clear backups. The decision to go for Pant as captain when Iyer was not there, sticking to Pant when Iyer came back. This shows clarity of thought. So I don't see, any problems going next year. Yes, who to retain, whom to let go, but at least their management is sorted. So you can expect clarity of thought. Look at Punjab Kings. With all due respect to Riley Meredith and the other fast bowler from Australia, they spent close to 30 crores on those two, or 25 crores on those two. Hardly played matches for them. So there's no clarity of thought. अभी किसी को भी चेक कर लो, किसी को भी ट्राई कर लो, ये एडन मार्करम को ले आओ, मलान को 4 मैच खिला लो, 1 मैच खिला लो, कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं है. किसी को एक लकी ड्रॉ चल रहा है, किसी को भी खिला लो, कोई तो चलेगा. तो वैसा है.
पैसा खर्चा करने के बाद अर्शदीप 5 विकेट ले जाते हैं.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. There's lack of clarity. And अभी एक चीज आप और देखिए, Rajasthan, you look their batting lineup filled with left-handers. Still they went, and the left arm off spinner Harpreet Singh. So for both of them, left-handers, with the ball coming in, and that Mahendra Lomror and all, everybody went crazy with the ball coming in. So they had that other option like Bishnoi था, और ये Bishnoi नहीं, दूसरा spinners थे इनके पास. तो वहाँ मतलब innovation नहीं है, बस चल रहा है, लेना है स्पिनर, खिलाना है.
Clearly पंजाब के कल के लॉस से अभी तक लोग उभरे नहीं है, and there wasn't much to talk about, to be honest, for this game, because Delhi never looked like Vishak that they will falter. और हैदराबाद एकदम depleted ही लग रही थी. शुरू में मुझे लगा कि they have changed some tactics. संदीप शर्मा को उन लोग ने आगे न्यू बॉल से नहीं करा. राशिद शर्मा, I think it was only the second time in whatever years he's playing. He bowled in the power play. तो थोड़ा tactics change किया, but कुछ ऐसे effective लगा नहीं मुझे. विशाख,
I think they missed a trick there. Sandeep Sharma and Bhuvneshwar Kumar are the bowlers who bowl with the new ball and swing the ball. So if you're bowling him in the middle overs where he is least effective, like the ball just comes straight on and you can just hit through the line. I think Williamson missed a trick there. Khalil and Holder could have been easily used in the depth. So that the best option to get wickets was using Sandeep Sharma and Bhuvneshwar Kumar bowl 4 overs straight up with them. So that was strange for me. And Rashid Khan, okay, it was good that they got Rashid Khan in the power play. That was an attacking move because we saw that Williamson also did it once in in one game when it happened in India. So that was an attacking move. That was a good move. But not starting off with Sandeep Sharma was definitely a blunder for me. And talking about Delhi, they already looked strong, and if they had one weak link, and that was in the middle order, and that has been covered with Shreyas Iyer now. So they looked a well-oiled unit right now, and Shreyas Iyer is the kind of batsman who can play both your roles. He can anchor or he can go bang bang and finish the game as well. So is that proper kind of T20 batsman? So because of the Shreyas Iyer absence, right, in the first half they were trying a lot of people here and there. They tried Rahane, they tried Smith, they tried quite a few people, and none of them clicked. Now with Shreyas Iyer back, that number 3 position seems to have been settled right now for them.
Yeah, and he's got a point to prove as well. He's been obviously on the reserves for the World T20. Ishan Kishan, Suryakumar Yadav, all these guys getting a selection ahead of him. Shikhar Dhawan now is the orange cap holder. Williamson has said that we didn't start well, didn't register a decent partnership, and I think they were 20, 25 runs, 25, 30 runs short, maybe more in fact. And Rishabh Pant has said that we discussed that we had a good first phase and we are happy to start the second phase this way. We said the same thing about focusing on the process and giving it 100% every day. Ravi, a word, we cannot have any show where we do not discuss Ashwin. Finally, we see him on the field. What did you make of his performance? He was using the crease quite differently, and by all looks of the team selection, he's almost certain to start the World T20 when he plays Pakistan.
I think Ashwin is the most underrated white ball bowler, I think, because that one phase of 2016-17 where Jadeja and Ashwin were, especially the Champions Trophy, was one of the typical for Ashwin with respect to white ball. But if you look at his white ball record, it has always been good. I mean, Ashwin, we have seen TSCK also, he uses a lot of his grease and he bowls knuckle balls, he stops and bowls and all those things. And even in this match, I think he was the final choice after Stoinis got injured. I think they have a lot of options. Like, I remember once Dhoni said, why you didn't bowl Harbhajan in this game? He said, I have a lot of cars in my garage. I don't use all of them at once. So it's like, I think that is something which they are following. And with respect to Sandeep Sharma, I think he's 1.5x speed of Rajat Bhatia. So I don't. So yeah, I mean, Sandeep Sharma and maybe new ball. I think, as Vishak said, I think that's where they lacked the trick. Maybe he could have got that little bit of swing, but the bowling, we always relate SRH to bowling, right? That bowling itself is looking very clueless. If SRH of 2018 had played this game, they would have defended this. But bowling looks very ordinary, and no wonder they are sitting at the bottom of the table. And Delhi with Ashwin, they're going to reach much more bigger heights because Ashwin adds different dimension because they don't have a genuine off spinner. Ashwin gives that off spinning. They have off spinner, they have left arm spinner, and they have two quicks who bowls at a very, very quick speed. And they have Stoinis who can change the pace. I mean, he's injured, but he did bowl really well. And Avesh Khan, what a revolution he has been in this IPL. I mean, from phase 1 to this one, and he's bowled really well on this way.
And I see Mishra is also at the bench. Vishak, you're on mute.
One more thing which I feel about SRH, right? I think more the players are playing fearing their place actually. After what happened to Warner, because even Warner during after the first ball of the second innings, right? The camera was panning on him, and he looked completely depressed and out of sorts, kind of. So that's not the Warner which we see. Usually, he's kind of the person who is highly motivated and keeps motivating others, and he's kind of a person who is always energetic on the field. We didn't see that kind of a Warner. So, and I think even someone like a Manish Pandey or something also, after what has happened to Warner, everybody is kind of fearing like what would be our future. And that is, I think, is what is happening with SRH at the moment. And they're playing more for their places than for the team.
Yeah,
I think they're missing Natarajan very badly in this case because Natarajan unfortunately is down with COVID. If Natarajan had played, I think they could have made a match out of it. I mean, he could have taken the quick wickets by his Yorkers, and they don't have to worry about the death bowling. Sandeep Sharma himself would have not been in this game. So
yeah.
But I think with all respect, just one point. With all due respect to other bowlers, Natarajan, Sandeep Sharma, everything. I think personally, what I feel about SRH is if the opposite team has given Rashid Khan maximum 1 wicket and taken out 25 runs, 25 to 25, 27 runs, you are well on your way to win against SRH. You look at this season, first half, last season, it's the same template. You don't give more than 1 wicket to Rashid Khan. You don't try to score runs against Rashid Khan. You respect him, give 25 runs, be happy. Yes, I think with SRH, when SRH was doing well in 2016, or Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was playing a big role. Now he has been constantly, brought down with injuries, and one man cannot pull you out every time. So Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is lacking, and even Shakib was there. Yusuf Pathan would contribute with slow spin bowling and all. So that is where, I mean, the bowling is lacking that bit. Beach mein even Khalil had this one breakthrough season. Now also in fact he earned an India call after a successful IPL with SRH. So it's just
Siddharth Kaul, another bowler.
Absolutely. So they're not collectively fired. That's the problem.
And this is the point. Baki maximum teams may, if you see batting, you have 3 or 4 very good Indian players, very good Indian players, and bowling department you have at least 2 or 3 quality international bowlers. इसमें उल्टा है पूरा डिपेंडेंसी 2-3 जो टॉप ऑर्डर के इंटरनेशनल बैट्समैन हैं और बाकी सब इंडियन बॉलर्स हैं. उसमें राशिद खान, as you mentioned, middle में करेंगे, you play him out and that's your game. But yeah, I mean we can talk about
Yeah, I think SRH missed a. See, they betted big on Manish Pandey. I remember the last big auction that happened. KL Rahul and Manish Pandey both went for, I think, this exact same price, 11 crores. KL Rahul to Punjab and Manish Pandey to SRH. So SRH, banked heavily on Manish Pandey that he'll be our, star Indian batsman who'll keep the innings together with Warner and top and all. So Manish Pandey, I don't think has kind of done justice to the to his stature. I mean, when he scored that 100 in Australia in ODIs, everybody thought that okay, Manish Pandey is going to be a regular in the Indian setup. So I think Manish Pandey has let them down in a big way. And second, one big mistake that SRH did is in the last auction, they banked heavily on uncapped Indian players. If you see, for few matches they had this Abhishek Sharma, Abdul Samad, and Piyush, the under-19 captain. I forgot the name. So these 3-4 you can't have in a tournament like IPL. Yeah, you can't have 3-4 at your number 5, number 6, number 7 uncapped Indian players in a tournament like IPL. I mean, with all due respect, yes, you need to promote talent and everything, blah blah blah. But there is a reason why Rajasthan has not done anything after the first season, right?
Shivam, so, your DC is built. It was built on uncapped Indian players, by the way.
Absolutely, totally agree. But then DC didn't just back them blindly. See what Sanju Samson has done. You can't see Abdul Samad or an Abhishek Sharma has not done that well as compared to a Sanju Samson or a Rishabh Pant or a Shreyas Iyer. These guys were instant hits with Delhi Capitals. So of course you back talent, but after a certain point of time, you need to take some harsh decisions. And if you start backing them, then don't tinker the 11, right? You play Abhishek Sharma for 3 matches, then you play Abdul Samad for 3 matches. You want to back them, you back them till the end. Like what CSK did with Ruturaj. I think he scored 7, 8, 10 runs in the first 4 matches he played with Chennai Super Kings. They still backed him. So either you do like CSK is doing, you back them till the end, or then don't tinker around like 1 match here, 1 match isko, 1 match usko. That's what I'm trying to say.
RCB का भी यही problem है, but and the other problem is having international captains. अगर कोई Indian captain हो, then it's easier for for people to manage, because Indian captain, come what may, will still be at least good enough to make it to the 11. यहाँ आपने अगर international captain को ले तो पूरा team dynamics ही change हो जाता है. International captain अगर perform नहीं कर रहा है तो. So a lot of things to talk about. Let's quickly look
Imagine,
at.
no, they picked Kedar Jadhav in this auction, in the last auction.
I mean, he's
Of
not
all
that
people.
bad, to be honest. I don't know how he reviewed that
No,
today.
no, if CSK is going to leave some player out in auction, no, at the middle of, not in mega auction, at least in the middle of the season, I mean the entire period, that means that guy is bad. You take any player who CSK has left in the auction, they would have been bad. They would have gone to worst. I can name people. A lot of the people are there who went from CSK in the next smaller auction. CSK left and they were bad, because CSK will not, or Mumbai will not leave a person who is capable enough to win you matches, right, single-handedly.
उसमें pro tip ये है कि RCB जिसको release करे उसको ले लो, वो by default.
That means they are very good people to have. So I mean,
There are many such things. Like not even for Chennai Super Kings, even for other teams also people are doing well.
Every team.
There are a lot of
RCB.
Shane Watson, KL Rahul, Moeen
Quinton
Ali,
de Kock.
Quinton de Kock.
Right. Okay, Vishak, let's quickly look at the points table. So, this is looking very, very good for Delhi, and things are heating up between Royal Challengers, Bangalore, Mumbai Indians, Rajasthan, KKR, and I think Punjab and Hyderabad. Hyderabad's pretty much out of it, Vishak, I think.
Unfortunately, I would say even Punjab is almost out of it. They have to win literally every game, and the kind of performances they are giving. See, I even mentioned this yesterday as well. If they try to strengthen their batting, they're weakening their bowling. If they are trying to strengthen their bowling, they're weakening their batting. That's how the squad is built. They don't have the proper all-rounders or something who can bat decently and bowl a bit. So it's kind of, see, if you are having your Fabian Allen and Harpreet Brar batting at 6 and 7, that shows like what kind of team, what kind of lineup you have. Just banking on 5 batsmen, and just and you have so many bowlers, and you still can't defend. You still can't restrict a team to a good score. So I don't see Punjab also doing anything. I think it's just a battle between the 4 teams for the 2 spots at the moment. So it's just heating up. If SRH had won today, I think it would have been even better, because the first 3 matches we saw underdogs win. Sorry, for not the first game, the next 2 games. So the first one was kind of an evenly contested match. So next 2 games we saw underdogs win, and it's like it kind of, even the first game also, right? If because CSK won, it's like it gave the other teams equal chance actually. If Mumbai had won, they would have moved up, and the other teams would have lagged a little.
Vishak, you called CSK underdogs. That's what we deduced from whatever you said. That's it.
I corrected myself. Actually.
And I think one very important point on that points table. See, I'm a big RCB fan too. See, the problem with RCB is when they get on a roll, they get on a roll. But when they lose so badly that
they got on a roll. Rolling down.
That's their net run rate in a really big way. Now you look at this, the net run rate is so bad. Now this, if you're as Vishak said, your top 2 is quite clear. But if it comes down to net run rate, it'll be a problem for RCB. And I've noticed this many times with RCB. Once your Kohli gets out, De Villiers gets out, the entire team will capitulate. If in the game against KKR, the way Harshal Patel was playing, the way Jamieson was playing, if somebody would have gone out there and just told them just play out 20 overs and get to a score of 120, 115, it would have make a big difference. When ये जो 2-3 top का out हो जाता है, they end up losing 30-40 runs or 8-10 wickets. That comes back to haunt them.
ये बहुत बेकार loss हुआ, and that's a good segue actually. Talking of KKR, big game I think tomorrow. Ravi, KKR versus Mumbai Indians. I think this will probably decide whether the 3 and 4 spot will still be contested, or whether Mumbai Indians will take a lead and KKR and the other there'll be a gap between the top 5 and then the bottom 3. If KKR win tomorrow, they are pretty much same as what Mumbai Indians would be. Ravi.
Yeah, I think it opens up the table all the more. I think today's DC, if DC had lost, I think the tournament itself would have opened much more wider. I think it would look like every single team could have qualified for the tournament. I still feel SRH they can still qualify because given the confidence level, if KKR wins tomorrow, SRH can still qualify because Mumbai are not going to sit back and wait for their turn, because you know about Mumbai how they qualify. Then KKR, it's much more important game for KKR to win tomorrow and get that extra 2 points so that they don't open up the tournament. I mean, for SRH also to come in. It will be a very interesting match, and Rohit Sharma, I think he'll be back. If when Rohit Sharma is in helm of captaincy, you can see a different Mumbai altogether.
And Rohit Sharma against KKR, we all know his So
yeah,
if he is back, so then I would back Mumbai Indians tomorrow to the hilt. So the first 3 games, whomever I backed lost. At least today, I think the trend changed, and tomorrow I think the today's trend will continue, and Mumbai Indians
till tomorrow only.
Till
tomorrow.
Next 3 days. Next 3 days.
just one thing on, I think.
So first 3 days the trend reversed. The next 3 days I want the trend to go as this.
Okay.
So just one thing on KKR. I think KKR, depend a lot on Andre Russell. And I think if you look closely, Russell has been bowling fast now. I think in between 2020 season, end of 2019 season, he had that knee problem, right? Where when he was not bowling, or he was bowling, was just rolling his arm over. But now he's bowling fast. The Yorker he bowled to AB de Villiers, that showed, that okay, Russell is back to full fitness. Now that's a big boost for KKR. Even his batting form for the international, for West Indies in the one of the recent T20 matches. Then even in CPL he played few big knocks. So I think if Andre Russell is near, is back to his, at least near to his best, I think KKR have a good chance, at least to qualify. They have a good chance.
I also
think Varun Chakravarti will be the key tomorrow. Varun Chakravarti versus Pollard.
Other thing is the match tomorrow is in Abu Dhabi, and we all know like how Mumbai Indians built their campaign last year through. It's like they struggled outside Abu Dhabi a little, but Abu Dhabi they lost only 1 match, I think, out of the 8 or 9 games they played last year. So they would consider this pitch would actually suit them. So, and it initially swings a bit also in Abu Dhabi, and Trent Bolt could be a big factor tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see. Just news on the player of the match. It was Henrik Nokia, believe it or not, ended up being the player of the match, because obviously none of the batsmen or the batters could get more than 40 odd. So it was the bowlers who did the job, and it was a great win for Delhi Capitals. Hopefully tomorrow's game between KKR and Mumbai Indians would be a much more closer contest and much more exciting, and not as bad as it has been today. If you're a Delhi fan, congratulations. If you're SRH, I don't know what you guys going to do. Hopefully you will spoil the party for a few people in the rest of the tournament. But Vishak, Ravi and Shivam, thank you very much for your time. For people who have visited our channel for the first time, please do consider subscribing to our channel. There's lots of other cricketing contents you may potentially like. And we'll see you back on another day, another show, hopefully on one of these daily reviews which we are doing through the IPL and during World T20 as well. Till next time, take care, be safe, and we'll see you again. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.